What are you wearing?
A Canadian tuxedo.
Canadian.
I'm a hockey player. Let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.
To all Blues fans, we're bleeding blue with you. Let's go Blues! Let's go Blues! Let's go Blues!
BlueNote Fan Report. Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody doing out there? This is an impromptu show. Yes, that's right. I got the news today, and I've been processing it, and I'm excited. And let me do something real quick. There we go. We don't need to be looking at that right now. I got to change it. I'm sorry. I got hair in my mouth. I don't know how that happened. I got the news today. I'm super, super, super excited. Oh man, I sound really weird in my ears right now. This Friday, hold on a second. Let me pull something up here real quick. Dun, 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 dun. I know I'm a dum-dum. I probably, I just decided at the last second I was going to talk some hockey today. I haven't even been watching hockey. I mean, I've been loosely following my Twitter and that, but just so, yeah. That was French onion soup. Some great games going on tonight. Earlier, the Carolina Hurricanes took a 2-0 lead in that series. The 3-1 over the Devils. The Devils look outmatched in that series. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, I'm trying to do something, and I'm like really bad at doing what I want to do. Give me just a second. Okay. Yeah, I know. I'm a dummy. I had a good time, Wayne, yesterday. Thank you so much. That was a great show yesterday. I had a couple of people comment on it afterwards, tell me how good it was, and I just want to say thank you. I just wanted to say real big thank you for that. Great show. I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun to do. And, I watched the Blues game, and I've heard a lot of people, we're down 0-2. I heard someone come back in one of the groups I'm in and go, we played so bad. I'm like, you even watch the damn game? Did you even watch the damn game? They did not play bad. They were in that the entire game, and it was incredible. So here we go. Let me click the right buttons here. On Friday, I don't know how well you can see this. On Friday, let's see if I can bump it a little bit. I don't know if I can do this. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. There we go. On Friday, I am going to be on the Under Review show with Mitch Kearns. It is a radio show on NHL Network, Channel 91, XM Satellite, Channel 91. It's 12:30 Eastern Daylight Time, 11:30 Central Daylight Time. I think we're in daylight time right now, right? So in Hawaii, we just have Hawaii Standard Time. That's it. HST. We don't have daylight or standard. So for me, sometimes I forget if we're in daylight time or standard time. So I think it's considered daylight time right now, right? So I think that it's daylight time. Oh wow. Tie game in Toronto. Sens coming back. 5:13 to go in the third. Wayne says some great hockey being played tonight. You're missing some gems. Yeah. Well, I'm not completely missing them. I got the one on now. It says anytime my friend Helly won the game for the Jets last night. I don't know if I can say that. I think that the Jets defense won the game for them, because after they scored that goal, they went into a suffocating defense that worked. I don't feel like the Blues really put any good solid shots on late enough to say that. What a goal. Yeah, that was a good one. So I won't say Hellebuck won that game. Sorry, I can't go there. I can't say that Helly won that game. I think that the Jets defense won that game. I really do. Hey Aaron, how you doing, buddy? Personally, I think the Blues killed themselves in each game. I don't know about that. I think. Timeout. Okay, somebody's in timeout. I don't know. They might be looking at trying to review this goal. I don't know. It feels like it may be an offsides. Are they looking for a possible offsides? Oh, yeah. That was offsides. But I think they both tagged up. Oh, that was offsides. Take the timeout so you can look at it, but yeah, but they both tagged up and no one touched it. So you're looking. We've had this situation before where it was tagged up. We've seen this situation before where a tagged up puck, where it was offsides, but no one from that team touched it. And that's where the tag up came. I remember a couple of years ago, they had a big issue with that in a playoff game with Colorado, right? But the player took it across the line and didn't touch it. That was the player. To me, it should have been considered the player had it in control, right? But Colorado gets all the calls. We know that. The Cardinals are finally showing some life. They're winning today 10-9 at the middle of the ninth. Not 10-4. Man, I screwed that up. 10-4 at the middle of the ninth. Florida, yeah, 5-. I guess I haven't got updated yet. That's game one of that series, if I remember correctly. Hey, Jets fan, how are you? I know you're a Blues fan. Hey, how you doing, bud? Where are we at? I'm excited for Friday, man. I really am. This could be something big for this show. I could get a lot of fans because I felt like going live. That's why. I don't just do the games. I do regular shows where I talk hockey and what's going on in the NHL. The player safety showed what kind of bums they are. There should have been a couple of fines or suspensions over those cross checks in the game yesterday, but they let them go. Yes, bud, I know who you're a fan of. Please, back off a little bit, man. It gets to be too much. And some of the other people that are commenting are frustrated by it. We know who you are. We appreciate it. We ask that you keep your comments to what the show is, right? Please. Oh man, by the way, if you're watching on Facebook, put them thumbs in the air. Let us know that you care. If you're doing it on YouTube, please do it also. I just can't see it. I want to talk about this a little bit. And Wayne, if you want to come on, I don't know if you're busy doing something. You might be too busy watching the game. You want to come on and talk about this a little bit. I want to talk about the Blues Winnipeg series and what do the Blues need to do? Or do they need to do anything? Because I heard Bruce Boudreau say, they really don't need to do anything. They're playing great. And they are, right? Okay, let's handle this. Invite guest. Actually, the invite I sent you last time might still be good. I don't remember if I put that in a studio one or not. So let me go ahead and send you a new invite there, bud. Let me back off this. There we go. I'm working on it, bud. I'm working on it. Working on it. Working on it. Man, I was so excited when I got the phone call today. I might talk about it with Wayne here, how things went down with that. Wayne's a good guy, man. Wayne's a good guy. I sent it, Wayne. So, who else? Oh, Wayne did it. Thank you. Keep watching. I appreciate you watching the show. Thank you so much for watching. And I really want to get into what, if you look at this series, what do the Blues need to do? Now, they don't play again until Thursday. They play Thursday and then Sunday because Friday and Saturday there are events or concerts at Enterprise Center. It happens this time of year. You know, these teams, they can't project that they're going to be in the playoffs. So they do schedule events, and they're told by the NHL, you know, what time periods to not to leave days open, right? Like they're early like this, they can schedule back to back, but later in the June and July, they're limited. They restrict that some. So you'll see sometimes pop up as a late show all of a sudden in some of these places, right? Getting a drink there, trying to make me feel a little better. But if you've watched the two games 1 and games 2, right? And if you're looking at this, if you're looking at the series, sorry, I'm trying to calm my thoughts here for a second. Oh, Florida's just kicking butt. If you're looking at this series and you go, okay, it's 2-0, the Blues are getting dominated. They're not. They're not getting dominated at all. Not even close, right? Yeah, I did send it, Wayne. I thought you looked at it. I sent it to you. I just sent you the link. You should have it. Right? Oh man, I'm need to focus. Share this in a group. Maybe I'll get some more people with me. Did you get it, Wayne? Look like you looked at it. I'll send it again just to make sure. There we go. Says you got it. Check your messenger, Wayne, man. Man, now I'm lost. I'm lost in a sea of misery. I'm going to wait a few minutes for Wayne to get on, and then we'll kind of continue from there. Panthers are up 5-2 on the Lightning. Ah, there we go. I heard him. There we go. There we go.
Coming in hot.
Oh, Mr. Wayne.
How we doing, pal?
I am doing great, man. I am doing great. Just decided to come on last minute and talk some hockey. And I've been reading in some of the Blues chats, and I gotta admit, some of these people in these chats might not be all there. But I seen one. The Blues played so bad yesterday, and I responded, "Did you even watch the effing game?"
The Blues were one shot away from tying that game up. Bennington played good. Listen, it could have gone either way.
Yeah, both games could have.
Absolutely,
both games could have, right? And I've said this before. The difference between the best team in the league and the worst team in the league is minuscule. And the reason that we don't think that is because we look at it under an electron microscope, right? We're looking at it at the atoms of the existence, not from the normal view like we would normally see it.
Right.
If the San Jose Sharks played the best team in the AHL, they would sweep them. Maybe it would go 5 games. If they played a college team, they would sweep them. Right? So to sit there and say that the San Jose Sharks suck, that's a misnomer. They may be the worst team in the NHL, but they're definitely not the worst team.
And they've gotten better.
Right? Yeah. I'm just going at because they have the number 1 lottery pick. Well, they have the best chance at the lottery, so that's just kind of why I'm using them. And then you look here at this Toronto Senators game.
Going over.
Game 1, the Senators just look outmatched. And here, this is a hell of a game. It's tied at 2.
It's going overtime.
And it looks like it's going into overtime.
Yep.
Right?
Yes, it is.
So, and then the Minnesota Golden Knights, that's going into game 2. That's going to be a solid game 2. Right?
Yeah. Well, right now, the NHL is knocking it out of the park with these first round matchups. All the matchups seem to be really close, really tight. Maybe not the Devils series because they just look outclassed so far.
Yeah, well, I mean, when it comes down to it, this is that argument that you came up with yesterday. You were talking about, I want the 1v8. And this is what we're seeing right now is the reason I don't want that.
I'm just an old traditionalist, I guess. But I'm not mad at the playoffs.
Yeah.
It's been great hockey.
I'm never going to want that 1v8. Never. Right? Because I think the 1v8 takes away what's important, and what's important is divisional rivalries, and divisional rivalries are created in the playoffs, and we're seeing that. We're seeing these divisional rivals fight each other. Dallas with all those energies came back and told Colorado, not so fast, dudes. Right?
The only reason I say that is maybe from a fan's perspective, you get all those division games every year.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the 1v8 goes ahead and gives us a little bit more hockey outside of the division, but in the conference.
You know what the 1v8 does, and this is why I'm so against it. The 1v8 assumes that 1, 2, 3, and 4 make it to the next round. 1 and 2 make it to the next round, and 1 makes it to the finals. That's what the 1v8 assumes or wants. And in my mind, that's what, if you look at the NCAA March Madness, right?
Right.
Everyone loves that. And what do they love more than anything else?
They love the upsets.
Upsets, right?
The Cinderella.
right? They love the Cinderella. They love the upset. And here this year, what happens is only the second time that's happened in the history of the tournament.
Yep.
They had
number one.
chalk. They had chalk.
Yep.
And everyone talked about how boring the Final Four was because they had chalk.
Well, I don't know if the Final Four was boring, but the lead up to the Final Four was boring.
Right? So when you have that system, right?
Yeah.
You create and my problem with the NCAA is it's not a true 1v16. Well, in the 1v16 it is, but down the teams that are ranked, some of them shouldn't be ranked where they are. Some of them are ranked a lot lower than what they should be, and some are ranked a lot higher than what they should be.
Yeah.
Right? It's not a true 1 through 64, 68, whatever it is, right? And that's where, like, a true 1 through 68 would be all 4 of your 16 seed teams would be having the play-in game, not having 12 seed play-in games, right? That makes zero sense to me.
Well, I'll just say this. I'm glad Bettman hasn't messed with the overall picture of the playoffs and started like the NBA with all these play-in games and everything.
Yeah.
else. I don't like that at all.
No, I agree.
You know,
right?
Hey,
I did not
for your spot, and that's that.
Go back and think about the COVID season or the pre-COVID season, right? 2020, not the season where, you know, they played the shortened COVID season, but the COVID playoff, right?
Yep.
And you know, that's the one where it was all in Canada.
Yeah, Edmonton and Toronto, right?
Yeah, in Edmonton and Toronto, and you had the top 12 teams by points percentage.
Yeah.
When you really look at that, in a lot of instances, you got in the end, you got good teams in the finals, but you had a lot of teams make it into the second round that shouldn't have been there. Right?
Yeah, there was definitely some, there was some crazy hockey that year.
Chicago shouldn't have been there. Montreal shouldn't have been there. A couple others. You just didn't get going to 12 teams was too much for me. I think they should have stuck at 8, to be honest with you. For that 1 year? Yeah. I understand why they went to 12.
Well, because it was a shortened season anyways. How many games did they play that year?
70.
Okay.
Or no, 60. They were in the 60s, right? It was late in March, so it was close. They were close enough to me. Like they were in the 70s. I want to say they were in the late 60s, early 70s.
And they played late because they got shut down for how long? Yeah, right. I felt like they should have, with as late as they played into the season, that they should have gone with just the 8 teams. I get why they did the 12. It helped. What it did is it solidified some TV requirements. Like they didn't have enough games. Yeah. And it created more games to solidify some of those TV contracts. Yeah. So they didn't have to pay any penalties or fines. But you know what? In a lot of cases, any penalty or fines, they could have sued to get it back and it would have won in a court case because this was an unforeseen natural circumstance. And you can usually those aren't held against you on contracts. Okay. Right? Usually. Right? Yeah, I don't know how the NHL has their contracts written up that way. Right. Yeah, and I don't know if they've got a natural disaster or natural phenomenon clause in the contract, and they could. But when it comes down to it, it was too much. Now, at the same time, I'm sorry to walk over you here, but at the same time, I have to go back and take a little shot at myself because the playoff that I like the most had 80% of the league in the playoffs. Okay. Right? So I go back to the early 80s when you had 20 teams and 16 made the playoffs. Still 16 made the playoffs. Yeah. So 16 out of 20 made the playoffs. 20 or 24, whatever it was. Yeah. Right? Maybe it was 21. It might have been 21, but I think one division maybe had 6 or until they started expanding a little more. Right. Yeah. But even then, this is why then worked.
right? And the reason then worked, even with 16 out of 20 teams making it, it worked because the first 2 rounds were divisional, right?
Yeah, and they were best of 3s, weren't they?
Best of 5.
I know the first round was best of 3 at least.
Best of
I
5.
don't know, but
Best
I'm
of
pretty
5.
sure it was, I never did like that best of 3 because
No,
you
I
get
think
a
it was
bad,
best.
you
I
get
think
a
it was
bad
best
bounce.
of 5, Wayne. I think it was best of 5.
Okay, because I
Best-
remember at one time the first round in the NHL used to be best of 3.
Yeah, that might have been before that, but I think
Like
in
that was early
period,
70s, I think.
yeah, I think in that period it was best of 5, and then they went
Okay.
for the longest period. The NHL was the only one that did best of 7s all the way through,
Right. Yes.
right?
Yep.
And that with that, see, that's why I'm enjoying this playoff, because you have more of these divisional inter rivalries, and they're working.
Look at it.
Right?
It's been great.
The
Saturday.
Florida Tampa works. The Dallas Avalanche works. The
Jets Blues.
the Toronto Ottawa works. I think they're in the same division. I'm pretty sure they are. I don't
Yep.
remember.
Jets Blues.
Right?
There's another one. I
Blues
mean,
well, the Blues Jets is a lucky one, because the wild cards could end up in either side.
they could. Yeah. Well, they could. Right. But
Yeah.
yeah.
So, but in this case, it works. But then you have the best series of them all, and I screwed up. I didn't pick my bracket. I thought it was after today's games, not before today's game. So I screwed up.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh well. But you have the
Well,
Dallas.
listen. You're allowed. Just put your bracket on your on your television show, and whoever don't like it, oh well. I mean,
Yep.
you're you're off by a few hours.
Yeah, I could. But when it comes down to it, for me, no, let me see. I'm shaking my nose here. What it comes down to is you've created some of these incredible divisional matchups that are going to extend into next year, right? The LA Kings, Edmonton Oilers, that's going to carry over.
Was that a crazy game last night?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I'm going to tell you right now, Edmonton has to do something. They've got to get a goaltender next year.
Yeah.
Skinner cost them the game last night. They come all the way back. McDavid has to be thinking, what else do we need to do? We come all the way back, tie it up at 5, and then give up just a horrendous goal with just a little over a minute to go.
And see, that's the thing. They have spent so much money on every other position. They don't have the money to spend on goaltenders.
Yeah, but look,
there
even Colorado went out and got Blackwood. That's better than Georgiev. At this point, you got to get rid of Skinner and get something else in there.
Yeah. There's one goalie that I think they should go after. I don't think they can get him, but I think they should go after him.
And who might
I'll let you think about this. Think about in the NHL right now a goalie that you think would really help that team. And I'm going off the reservation a little bit, but not completely.
Let me give me one clue, like an Eastern goaltender or a Western goaltender.
Western.
Well, there's no way the Blues are giving up Hofer.
But that's it.
I don't think they're giving up Hofer.
I agree, but the offer sheet, because Hofer's an RFA.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, they're
find the money. Remember, they got the cap goes up $5 million, and if they haven't killed themselves, you can find the money. You can maybe throw something out there that's enough.
But I think
if they to throw the money that they need to at Hofer, the $5 or $6 million that they need to at Hofer.
But I think
St. Louis have the picks. I don't think they have the picks.
St. Louis would be crazy not to match that offer.
You know what? If it was right now, Benner's making $6.
I like Hofer a lot.
I do too.
Yeah.
My issue is I don't think you should spend more right now, as long as the salary cap is under $100 million. I don't think you should spend more than $10 million for a goaltender. That's about 12%. 12, 15% of your overall.
overall.
That's total. That's total for both goaltenders, right? So if you're now looking at Hoffer, where you're spending $11 million on your goaltending, on $6 million for your starter and $5 million for your backup. At that point, I'd have to think about letting Hoffer go, and it's $5 million.
But if you only go over $1 million, you're not
But
pushing.
$5 million is a first-round draft pick.
Yeah. So
right, $5 million. You're starting to look at a first-round draft pick. Now with Edmonton, where's that first-round draft pick going to be? It's going to be the late 20s more than likely.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's something else to pay attention, and they are tight against the cap. I know this for a fact. I don't know right off the top of my head, but I know that they are tight against the cap.
Well, they have to be. They just re-signed Draisaitl. They got Nurse. That's a horrible contract.
Right.
That Darnell Nurse contract. And McDavid's coming up. So what are they going to have to give him? When
they've got for next season, Skinner is a UFA. Corey Perry's a UFA. Perry's not a big.
Yeah, but he gets the bare minimum anymore.
Brown is a UFA. Kapanen is a UFA. Trent Frederick is a UFA, and all those guys are right at $1 million or less, with the exception of Skinner. Skinner's $3 million. So that opens up some money for your.
That opens up a little bit of money
for your goaltender. But
and
now they also got their
going up.
defense. They've got Bouchard as an RFA. He's making $3 million. They got to offer him 3.3.
Well, he's going to get a raise.
Just to make a qualifying offer.
Yeah, he's going to get a raise.
And then Klingberg, who's on LTIR, is a UFA, so he'll probably come off.
Yeah,
they could have some money. Actually, I wrong Skinner.
Give me a real
Skinner,
quick guy.
Stuart Skinner, wrong Skinner.
Real
so
quick.
For goaltenders, they've got both of them under contract for next year.
Overtime is getting ready to start. Give me a goal scorer for Toronto, a goal scorer for Ottawa.
Oh, I'm just going to go with the big guys, Brady and Matthews.
Okay, Matthews yet to score in the series. I like Tavares, and Ottawa, I'm going to go Batherson.
I'm going big there because
you're going big or going home, one of the two, right?
Well, because that's the guys that have to be it.
Yeah, well, Matthews needs to score because he's yet to score yet. He looks frustrated. He's had a couple good looks tonight.
Yeah, but that's a knock on him. That's been a knock on him for a while.
He has not produced in the playoffs as of yet.
Not producing the play. But here's the thing: under Berube's system, he's not supposed to produce.
Well, I will say this: he was definitely playing D tonight because I seen him coming back every play, coming back down the ice. He was skating hard back towards it.
I said beginning of the season that he wouldn't get 40 goals, and he didn't. But he missed, I think, 12 games.
Missed some games.
12 or 13 games. So he would have gotten right at 40. But considering he had 69 last season,
I was going to say that his days of probably getting 70 goals might be over.
As long as Berube's there, his goal numbers are going to go down, and that's wrong. You can't take a player like that because you screw him up. Did you ever watch the Apple TV series Ted Lasso?
No.
So Ted Lasso's on soccer, right? And I get it's make believe or whatever.
Sure.
However, there's a point in there where one of the coaches, who's a former player, right? He's now a coach, is being the former coach, the former player now coach is Roy Kent, and the player is Jamie Tart, and they have been like this, right? The whole series. And basically, because Kent is older now, and Tart has as Kent puts it, a foot that's been kissed by God, a golden foot that's been kissed by God.
Right, Lionel Messi, right?
And so Tart's upset that he won't coach him, and they've been fighting. And finally, you want to know what's wrong with you, and the Ted Lasso's there, the head coach, Tart, and then they're both like, yeah. And he goes, Kent goes, you fucked him up. You got him being all nice and playing defense, and that's not what we need. We need him to be the asshole, to get in the other team's head and score goals. Right?
Now,
And,
do you remember when Trotz took over in Washington?
Yeah.
1 year. And I can understand if you want a guy to do that for 1 year, but he made Ovechkin play defense, taught him to play defense, and then after 1 year said, you can play defense, but I need you to score now too.
Yep.
And that's what Berube needs to do if he wants to keep this kid.
But see, Berube didn't do that with Tarasenko. Berube tore Tarasenko down, and Tarasenko didn't have a good season until Montgomery got there as the offensive coach.
Look, he tore Kyrou down.
Well, he absolutely tore Kyrou down.
So
I've been on when Berube got fired and Jeremy Rutherford went to him after warmups. This was my issue. Or after warmups, or just before warmups, and asked him a question about Berube being fired. First of all, not the time or place to ask that question.
Sure.
Right when a player's getting ready to play a game, not the time or place. Absolutely not. And this is a 20-year-old, 23, 24-year-old young man who's going through some emotional things, right? You know, all this is emotional. And to get asked that question, and so many people thought his answer was disrespect. I thought it was the most respectful thing he could have done.
Look, at that point, you are just coming back with a quick, whatever first thing.
What he said is, don't want to talk about that. He's not my coach right now. He's not my coach anymore.
Yeah.
That was not disrespectful. What was disrespectful says, I'm glad the son of a bitch is gone. Maybe now
right. He could have said that, and that would have been,
right?
Sure.
Maybe now I can score some goals and not get yelled at every 5 minutes.
Right.
And I blame Rutherford for that heavily blame Rutherford for that, because this is a veteran reporter with 20 plus years covering hockey asking that question. He knows better.
The Blues reporter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Like for the Athletic. He knows better.
Yeah.
He absolutely knows better.
I mean, you're not supposed to put your players, at, let's just call it a risk of a bad answer when you are the guys, when you're the one doing your team's reporting. So.
Yeah, Jason, I came on last minute, buddy. Last minute. Just one of those things because it was on here earlier. I'm going to be on the radio on Friday. I got confirmed today. They set it up for 12:30 Eastern Daylight Time. Right? Your guys are in Daylight Time, right? EDT?
Yeah, I'm in the Central, but Eastern is
Daylight Time.
Out of me.
Well, see, so what a lot of people don't know is the initials for time is different based on what the clocks are. So when they're in daylight savings time, well, there we go. That one's over. Domi.
Oh yeah. Holy cow.
Good game.
That was a good game.
Yeah.
Now we get the Vegas game because, in all honesty, 5-2 after 2 for Ottawa. I mean, not Ottawa, but the other game, Florida and the Lightning. Yeah. That game's. I don't see the Lightning coming back.
No, that one's on the other channel. So ESPN puts one game on ESPN, the other game on ESPN2, and straddles them. So right. And then I think tomorrow is TNT. Yeah, tomorrow's TNT.
TNT gets one game tomorrow.
Yeah.
I looked at it earlier, and I could tell you real quick because I still had it up.
Yeah, I got it up right here. I just don't have it big enough where I can see it. Here we go. TNT's got the second game. The second game, and ESPN's got the first two. Montreal and the Caps, and Dallas and the Avalanche are on ESPN. And then at 10 Eastern, The Oilers and Kings from Crypto.com Arena.
And I'm looking forward to watching that kid Demidov tomorrow again, because that kid is going to be, well, if he plays like he did the last 2 games when they brought him up, he's the rookie of the year next year. This kid is so smart.
I'm not so sure about that. I think Snoogy's got a good shot at rookie of the year next year.
Yeah,
right?
You got a point there. You know,
my only problem with Snoogy having a shot at rookie of the year is we're going to have 2, if not 3 rookies next year.
So you'll take votes away from each other.
They could take votes away from each other.
Yeah.
Right? You're going to have Snugard and Dvorsky almost for sure. And then you could have Steinberg and one other goalie coming up, or not goalie, defenseman coming up.
So you could have 4 rookies in your lineup next year?
We could, yeah.
Wow.
That's why the future is so bright for this team.
Well, yeah, I've said that. Look,
you know, and these are all first-round picks, though. So you say rookie, but these are all first-round picks.
Yeah, but a rookie's a rookie. First round, it's a rookie first round or whatever you want to call him.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, that's pretty strong.
So let's get into, while we got some time. Well, I mean, we've had some good talk here. Let's get into the Blues Jets. On Thursday, what do the Blues need to do to win that game? And you're not going to, my answer is, I will let you go first and then I'll give you my answer.
Okay, my answer, really quick and easy. Score early, get the crowd into the game, and make some big hits early and stay out of the box. Those 4 facets of the game right there, and the Blues could have a really good chance of getting on the score sheet and making it 2 games to 1.
He doesn't like the way I say Snoogie. Snuggerud, yeah. I'm sorry, Steve. I say do nothing. Don't change anything. I think you played winning hockey up to this date, and it's been other than one goal in this series, has it been a good goal? And that was the one that won the game yesterday. Everything else has been bounces or junk or stuff like that. They haven't beat Bennington yet.
But they can't let Winnipeg get up early. And
I agree with that.
Out of the game.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I don't think they will.
And you're at home, so you got to stay out of the box.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they did a good job staying out of the box. See, everyone got on Bolduc on that game 1 for that penalty. And my issue was, and you and me talked about this, that should have been a 4-on-4, not a power play.
Right?
Because that should have gotten
it could have been called that way. It could have been called that way, no doubt.
It should have been called, the cross check was a cross check. The whistle had already gone. I get it. But that was an absolute, embellishment there. Right?
Yeah, and it's all, again, though, like we were saying, it's all comes down to the referee's discretion. How did that guy see it? Another guy might have called it exactly the same way you just said.
Yeah, and that's why I advocate for that fifth guy. They score goals. Okay, yeah. It was a bad penalty to take, though. I agree. It was a bad penalty to take. The problem is, if the guy doesn't fall down, it's not a penalty. And this is my thing. The guy falling down was an embellishment. If he doesn't fall down, it's not called a penalty. So, is it a bad penalty to take? That's my point on this, right? If he just does it normally, just kind of pushes them, and the guy stays up, it's never called. Nothing's called. It's the fact that he fell down, and that's why I felt that the what do you call it? That's why I felt that what did they do here? Am I missing something? The game's not on yet.
No. The other game's got 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Okay.
The third comes on.
Right. There we go. Switch it back. Or the NFL draft. So that's why I have should have been even. No, absolutely, I think it should have been. And I would have said that the other way. Had it been a Jets player do that to a Blues player, I would have said the same thing. I felt it should have been evened out. I felt it should have been embellishment. They don't call that enough. They don't call that enough. Anytime a player does this, should be called embellishment. Every single time. You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're saying, 100%.
Right? They do
look,
it
a
to get
lot
a hook.
of times in the playoffs, the whistles get put away, and you know that.
Unfortunately, they do. But at the same time, you can't. You've got to stop some of these hooks, right? You've got to stop some of the. In the regular season, you can control that, and you can control what happens in the playoffs by calling it during the regular season. To me, if you're going to call a hook and the guy's arm dropped down, you call it both ways.
Right.
Right? Or, here's my thing. If it's embellishment, that means it probably wasn't a penalty to begin with, so just call the embellishment.
Yeah.
If you just call the embellishment, that shit stops.
You know, sometimes the guy doesn't have to go down, though, too, because I did notice a lot during the regular season this year.
Yeah.
When a guy got into his hands,
yeah,
they were calling that. And I like to see that.
I had no problem with that.
Yeah.
I got no problem with that.
Right. Yeah. Steven's got a point there.
No, he was. He was not pushed hard enough to fall. And that's why I said, I said this from the beginning, it should have been embellishment. Right? I absolutely said that should have been embellishment, that it should have been called both ways. I absolutely agree with that.
But like the one guy said, and I'm saying, the Jets got to be kept off the scoreboard, and St. Louis needs to score, get the crowd into it, and make a couple big hits and stay out of the box. That's going to be the key to the game. No question about that.
Yeah. Hold on a second, Wendy. I'll have an answer to your question in just a moment. I came on impromptu, just one of those things, I felt like coming on. Sometimes I just do. When you do a show like mine, sometimes you get you don't have to do it on a schedule. You can just say, fuck it and come on.
And we're doing the Jets. We're talking about the Jets and Blues and everything else in the NHL. And also we're talking about Guy going on the NHL radio Friday afternoon at 12:30 Eastern time.
Yeah.
With Kern and Kallistic, right?
No, the Kern show.
Yeah.
Under review.
Yep, under review. What's the other guy? Kallistic, I think.
I think so. I'm not completely sure. I've only been talking to Mick.
Right. Okay.
Right. I've only been talking to Mick. He's the one that reached out to me, and so what happened today was he had reached out to me yesterday and asked if I could do it live, and I did, and I didn't get a response. So I know we were messaging via Twitter, and sometimes that's a little, because you don't always get notifications. So I sent him my phone number just to say, hey, this is to help with communications. And then he called me like right away, and we talked, and he's absolutely wants me to come on. We set it up. I'm going to do it via Zoom, so it's better for my ears, for me, because some people know this, some don't. I am very hard of hearing, and maybe you can see this. I actually wear hearing aids, right? And on the phone, I almost always put it on. I either have it on my hearing aids, or I have it on, if I don't have my hearing aids in, I put it on speaker, because with the phone, I struggle hearing words.
Okay.
So I asked them if I could do video, and that's why I do video instead of radio, doing a podcast. And that's another reason why I don't just post it on because to me, like in my car, I listen to YouTube instead of, I go to YouTube and I put a song on, and then I just let that song play a mix from that song all night long when I'm driving.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what I'm at. They should have just let it all go. Yeah. If
I'd
they
have
were
been
gonna
fine.
call
I
it-
would
if
have
they
been
were gonna
fine with
call it-
that too.
I would have been okay with that too. But at the same time, if you're going to call one, you got to call both. It's either call them both or call none. Call it all or call none.
Yep.
And that was one of those cases, right? Bolduc he's young. I think he's 20. He's still pretty young. I think he's 20 years old. He's either 19 or 20. I'll tell you in a second.
And Guy, who do you think really needs to step up? If you're a Blues fan tomorrow, who needs to step up tomorrow Thursday in game 3?
Oh man, that's a hard question because to say somebody stepped up is saying that they haven't played well enough.
Well, they haven't scored enough goals. That's what I mean. Who's got to get this team going?
Maybe Bushnevich. If you're going there, I would have to go possibly Bushnevich. Right.
Right.
That might be my guy there. I think and I've heard some things about some guys with Bushnevich thinking that he's not doing good enough or being strong enough, but yeah, I could see that. Bolduc's 22, so yeah, as a 22-year-old Ricky, he might be a little over his head, but missing Holloway is huge, and he's not going to be back for this series. I'm pretty sure of that. To me, if you're asking me who needs to step up, I'll go with Bushnevich. I think he's the guy. Okay. He's one of your core players. I think he needs to, it's not like he's got to do a ton, but he does need to get on the score sheet.
Like somebody's got to score early.
Yeah, so I think Bushnevich would be my player there.
Okay.
Blues need to forget about defense unless they don't have the puck. That's how they got there. Again, this is the important thing here is to remember offensively aggressive, defensively responsible. And I felt for most of the third period, that's what they were. But once Winnipeg got that lead, they just swarmed on defense. They were over that. They were over that puck like bees on honey. I mean, or a bear on honey. They were just all over that puck.
Winnipeg, they just started getting to those open pucks, the man-for-man battles, and they held on to the puck. And like you're saying, swarmed the Blues. They held them in their zone for a long period of time.
Yeah, right. They, for the most part, they could have done better on a couple of the power plays, but overall, the power play's been good, right? The power play's been good. So I do get what you're saying. Neighbors can be the 2019 Schwartz. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I think Neighbors, the moment's not too big for Neighbors, but the moment might be too big, right? And he's learning. So you never know what's going to happen with that. I do think that overall, he's got the capability of being the guy, but I'm not going to put it on him. It's not right. That I think, like you said, if you ask me what player needs to step up from the Blues, it's got to be Bushnevich.
Yeah,
right.
He's definitely a good choice. That's for sure. Because, like you're saying, he's a veteran presence. He's a core player.
Yeah.
I mean, you just need the whole team to come out. If you're a Blues fan, you gotta hope they're so pumped up in front of the home crowd tomorrow, and get that crowd going. Score a quick goal. I know I've said it 3 or 4 times already, but it's 2-0.
Yeah. And you know what's the old sentiment? It's not a series till the home team loses.
Right.
Right.
Yep.
So that's the way you look at it. You played them really, really tight, really, really good in their building. Now come beat them in yours.
Like if you go down 3-0 on Thursday.
Yeah.
You might get the brooms on Saturday.
Yeah, you could. Oh no, we don't play on Saturday. We play on Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah.
Pardon me. Yep, that's right.
Oh no, I believe we could. I absolutely believe we could. The Jets have a bunch of experienced players. To me, this is the difference. But see, to me, if that's the case, then the scores would be a lot more than what they are, and the games wouldn't be close. These games have been extremely close, right?
Right.
They're basically, if you take the empty net goal away, they're 2 1-goal games.
But sometimes that veteran experience, it gives you that little extra push in this direction or that direction, or helps you in a situation where the younger guys may not be making a mistake.
Yeah.
But they might not be making the exact right play.
Right play. Yeah, that's possible. I can go with that. I can see that. Again, remember the Blues weren't supposed to be here.
No,
right? They were not picked to be here, but here they are, and they knocked out a good team in Calgary. Calgary was a good team,
and they're playing the best team in the league this year in the regular season.
Yeah,
it's not like they're playing some chump squad.
Yeah.
Yeah, Connor's
the
Blues.
Okay, I get that, and Connors likes playing the Blues for some reason because he's got goals. He's got lots of goals. He's been a Blues killer for a while,
right?
And I get that, but at the same time, look who scored the goals for the Blues, right? I mean, you're looking at Kyrou, Snuggerud. I think Shen has a goal, right? Thomas has a goal, right?
Well, to interrupt you real quick, if there was any chance of a Tampa Bay comeback, you can forget about it now. It's 6-2, and it looks like they're gonna give the hook to the big 88.
Yeah,
that's probably a smart thing.
Oh wow, that was a good goal.
I mean, look at that.
That was a real good goal.
That was a perfect screen in front.
Right. Thursday will say everything. I kind of agree with you. Jets have the whiteout. Watch Thursday. Yeah, it could be a blue out. I mean,
is that what you do in St. Louis? The blue out?
More, we don't really call it that, but yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Right.
I know I've been to a couple games. I will tell you this: the one thing I did like about St. Louis when I went to the games there.
Yeah.
Took my son years ago, but I loved it in the first. 2 rows? Yeah. All the way around.
Yeah.
You get the free food, the free beer for the game.
Yeah.
I've been to a lot of arenas, and I don't ever recall that.
The first 2 rows, actually, I think the first 3 or 4 rows
might be the first
all
3.
Inclusive. Yeah, all inclusive. Yeah.
I was like, wow, that's it's pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah, they've got the lounge you go into and the food all down there. Free. Yep. Yeah. For the home opener, somebody gave me a ticket for that.
Nice.
I was right behind the goal. I got to watch the Wild goalie goal against the Blues.
Guy, have you ever been to Nashville?
No, I have not. That is one of the places I want to go to.
Now that's a fun arena to go to too. Right. I've been to probably 3 or 4 games.
I actually think the NHL should stop what Nashville does, though.
What's that?
The only selling the tickets to the Nashville viewing area.
Yeah, there's ways around that, but
but see, you're going on a secondary market.
Yeah.
What that creates is a inflated secondary market, because what happens is the ticket guys, the scalpers, if you want to call them that, or the services, they buy up the tickets.
Oh yeah.
And you actually, what it does, in some ways, it keeps your own fans out of the building.
Yeah.
Right? Their process keeps their own fan. Really, it hurts their own fans more than anything else.
But I do like what they do in between periods.
What?
Like the lead singer from Kansas was there one time.
Carrie really?
Carrie Underwood did a song in between periods.
Yeah.
Gary
Lovegreen. I got to meet him once.
Oh yeah.
Right. I'm a huge Kansas fan. So
Okay, yeah.
yeah.
Carry on.
What?
Carry
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, Mike. I think my all-time, like my, if you really ask me, and I'm almost pained to say this, my all-time favorite song, and this is going back from when I first heard it in 76, 77, is "Dust in the Wind."
Great.
Right. I tried to learn how to play that on guitar because I think it's just such a great song.
Yeah.
And I can't play the guitar for shit. No rhythm at all. But you know, and this is as big of a Rick Springfield fan as I am, and as much as I love Jessie Girl, I would have to put "Dust in the Wind" over it. Not by much, but by a little bit.
Yeah.
Trust me, after waiting for the playoffs so long, Thursday's going to be nuts. And oh, I believe it is. Right? I believe it is. We don't really have anything, right? A blue out. We don't really do anything like that. Our thing is counting goals, right? That is the one thing that we do that nobody else does, right? Nobody else does it. When we score a goal, you got the towel man. We count the goals. He throws the towels out there. That's a tradition that's not like any other, right? There's no one else does it. No one else copies it. And not only that, when Blues fans go to away games, they still do it, right?
Wow.
Yeah. So like when I was in the Vegas game, in fact, for a while there before Colorado got good, there would be more Blues fans in the arena than there would be Avs fans, right? You could hear chants of "Let Go Blues" in the Avalanche arenas.
Well,
right?
I remember the first Blues game I ever went was at the Kiel Center.
That would be the Enterprise Center, same building.
Okay, is it?
Yes.
Okay.
The original building was the arena.
Yeah, I was there. Hold on, I was there. That's what I thought the Kiel Center was.
The arena was, well, the one you went to, was it downtown?
Yeah, well, I went to that, but that was the second and third games. The other one was like out, and the parking lot, it seemed like, was off, and it was a smaller building. I thought that was the Kiel Center. That was called the arena?
Yeah, no, see, I think you are talking about the Kiel Center. The arena was not downtown.
Yeah,
by
correct.
Forest Park.
Yes, that's the first game I went to.
It was kind of like a round building.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So long ago, it was like, holy.
Yeah. No, that was the arena, and it was originally called the St. Louis Arena. Ralston Purina bought it for a few years and changed the name to the Checker Dome.
Yes. Okay. So that.
And then it got changed back to the arena when they moved buildings. When they went to where they are now, it was originally called the Kiel Center.
Right.
Then it was called Scott Trade Center.
Scott Trade. Then it was the Enterprise.
No, it was one other name before the Enterprise.
Okay. Because that's where the Al McInnes.
It was Savage Center. Savage Center.
Okay.
And I think Savage got bought out by Scott Trade.
Because that's where the Al McInnes statue is.
Yes.
Yep.
Right.
Okay. Yep. That's the one downtown.
Yeah. Yes. That's the one just outside of downtown.
Yeah.
Right. Wow. Quick, fun hour. Ruby is winning the cup. I mean, you asshole.
Wouldn't that be something? Well, Craig Button, the one of the well-known analysts up in Canada, he has picked Winnipeg against Toronto in the finals. Winnipeg winning it all.
I don't see that.
Listen, I just want to see great hockey all throughout. I'd love to see.
Yeah. My issue is I just think Toronto is going to play too defensive, and it's going to hurt them. Maybe not against against Ottawa, but whoever they play next, which is gonna
be the
New Jersey, right?
No, Toronto will play in the next round, the winner of Florida, Tampa.
Are you sure? I thought it was New Jersey.
No, New Jersey's in the other division.
Okay.
Yeah, all Tampa, Florida, Toronto, They're all in the
Yeah,
same division.
that's part of it. I do, but it's their coaching style. It's the coaching style. That's my issue. Oh,
The only thing I'll say about Toronto is they built this team this year for the playoffs only. And then they went on to win the whole division. They really didn't care what was happening during the regular season. They were more worried about just getting in the playoffs. And, you know, like you said,
yeah, you're
Berube,
right. Tampa Bay Lightning. I just seen it.
you know, Berube, he's got some issues with, like you say, where he just takes these guys that are goal scorers and wants them to play too much defense.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if you're a Blues fan, there's got to be some love for the guy. He got you a cup. He got you the ring. He got you.
Yeah, but for me, it's the players he chased away. He chased away some really good players, right? And that, to me, really affects it. Yeah. So if they play Florida or Tampa in the second, Toronto plays Florida, Tampa in the second round, that defensive style is going to not work because both those teams are extremely offensive, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah,
right. They're going to tear them up, right? I mean, I can see him getting past Ottawa. I don't see him getting past Tampa or Florida. And right now, I mean, Florida's still the defending Cup champs, and they've got that feel that, you know, they're going to stay the defending Cup champs,
right.
you know.
Well, the funny thing is, you know, they're handling Ottawa so far. They're up 2-0 now, right?
Yeah.
They didn't beat them during the regular season.
Oh, they just called a goal back.
Yeah, well, it was definitely not in. It hit the post and went across.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay, they didn't call a goal back. It was just reviewing to see if it went in or not.
To see if it went in.
You know, I look forward to the game on Thursday. I look forward to being on the radio on Friday, 12:30 Eastern Daylight Time, 11:30 Central Daylight Time. It'll be 6:30 Hawaii Standard Time, 9:30 on the I think 9:30 is right. 9:30 on the West Coast. Please check out the Under Review with Mick Hearns at on NHL Satellite Radio Channel 91. Wayne, thanks for joining me. I had a great time. Enjoy your hockey.
Absolutely.
I'm going to call this a night. See if anybody else got something to say real quick.
Thanks for having
Blues
me.
win 4-2 unless they knock out our Stars. I'm calling it now. It's a 7-game series. Could not disagree with me more. Guy, my buddy. Well, okay.
And Blues fans, let me just say one thing. Blues fans, tell your friends, guys on the radio, Channel 91, Friday at 12, you know, what time again?
11:30 Central.
11:30, you know, so tell everybody and let's get guys some recognition on there.
I would appreciate it. So I want to ask you this. What do you disagree with me on here, Bob? Right? Do you feel that Channel 91 on XM Satellite Radio, right? XM Satellite Radio Channel 91, and I'll do my best to promote it. Maybe do a TikTok or something or some other stuff. We'll see. After the COVID playoffs, a lot of players that wanted to stay in St. Louis started leaving St. Louis. So my question is, what caused that? And I'm under the impression that it was Berube, and I kind of know something that I'm not supposed to know, and I'm 75% sure that what I got told is true. I can't be completely sure. Maybe someday it'll come out. I hope it does. But you look at what happened with that team, and the next season Montgomery comes in, and they had a good season. Pardon me, 2 seasons after that. So they go into the bubble season in 21, and they were just horrendous. Right? Now, part of that could have been Bennington having COVID symptoms, still having COVID. Bennington had long-term COVID, right? And that may have affected him for a couple of years. I'm not going to lie. I'm pretty sure of that. That could be some of it. But you look at after the bubble season, the COVID season, the next season is when we bring Montgomery in as the assistant coach, and he coaches the offense. And he's like that buffer between Berube and the team. And it worked. When he leaves, that team falls apart.
Well, look at this guy.
Yeah.
It's not like the Blues didn't have a coach like that before. Because Keenan was the same way.
Yeah.
These guys, look at like guys like Berube, like Keenan, like Tortorella, they're good short term.
Yeah.
But players after a while, especially today's players, these guys are making millions and millions of dollars. They don't want to be slammed down like that, whether it be right or wrong. They just lose the room after a little bit of time.
Yeah.
Even if, it works for a while and then it slowly slips away. It's happened to every single one of them. Tortorella, Keenan, Pat Burns when he was alive, Pat Quinn when he was alive.
Yeah.
All these guys were hard-nosed coaches. It's not right sometimes for the guys you have in the locker room.
Yeah, no, I feel that a little bit. I do hope that consequently it fell apart when you had players not being happy, being told to play responsibly. Fair enough. I don't believe that's what it was. And that's, you and me, Robert, we've talked about this, and we're going to agree to disagree on this. Not trying to beat a dead horse, it's just my opinion. I got you, bud. Some good facts. Yeah. All right, man, this show went longer than I wanted. Wayne, I got to thank you. I got to go, unfortunately. Thanks, everyone, for watching.
I understand.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, anytime, my friend, anytime. Jeremy Brander, Jason Nichols, Wayne Horder, and Aaron Nell for putting them thumbs in the air. We greatly appreciate it. This is Guy, the Y Blues fan, saying, you know what? Boys, what am I saying? Boys? Where are my boys? Boys!
Why Blues fan? We're bleeding blue with you. Let's go!